Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. May 27th, this Saturday, it goes down on Sky Sports and Showtime in the US. It's a fight I'm looking forward to. It's probably the best, most anticipated welterweight fight. We had Garcia Thurman too, but for me, I've been wanting this fight for a while. We're getting it, and it's fight week. I'm looking forward to it, and that's obviously Kell Brook, IBF champion, versus the truth, Mr. Man Down, Errol Spence Jr. Now, I just read a great interview on ESPN.com. Link is in the description so you can read it verbatim and read the full write-up. And I want to talk about what Errol Spence said. In this article, Errol Spence says, "I've got this far by experience early in my professional career after the 2012 Olympics, when I was sparring a lot of big names and learned a lot from them. It helped being in training camps with champions, seeing how they train and handle the build-up to championship fights. You get to pick up things from them and learn different things. I was lucky to be in some good gyms early on. I trained with Floyd Mayweather early on in my career after only 3 fights. It was a great experience for me, watching him hitting the bag and watching how hard he trained and worked. I sparred with Floyd too. I did great work. It was tit for tat. I never imagined myself sparring with Floyd Mayweather that early on in my career. I've also sparred with Adrien Broner and Lamont Peterson, which were great experiences. When I sparred Floyd, I earned his respect. Now he will call me on FaceTime. He will text me to check up on me and see how I'm doing and stuff like that," right? And then he mentions how Mayweather says Errol Spence is a hell of a fighter. I have to lean towards Errol Spence. And Floyd was obviously in the UK for his fighter who just fought. Great performance, Gervonta Tank Davis. He demolished Liam Walsh, his mandatory. And I like it, man. I like Spence's attitude. He also says in this interview, he says he believes he has the potential to be one of boxing's biggest stars. He said, "I think so. The names are there for me to fight to become the next great boxer. The weight class is stacked full of great guys. There are a lot of big fights out there for me. You have guys coming up from 140 pounds, and there are so many good champions already in the weight class. I could be the next guy if I keep winning," right? This is a big fight, man. This is a real big fight. And it's if Errol Spence goes from fighting the guys like Phil LaGreco, right, and guys like Leonard Bundu, he's Olympian, but he lost to Keith Thurman, right, and Chris Algieri, who had multiple losses at the time Spence fought him, to fighting a champion, a respected champion who's undefeated at welterweight, once beaten career-wise, and he had to jump 2 weight classes to fight the biggest puncher, or one of the top 3 punchers at middleweight, to take that loss. And he even did better than Dominique Wade and Adama and other people that fought Golovkin previously that were actual middleweights, right? And he did better than David Lemieux, a powerful middleweight. I think David Lemieux has more power than Golovkin per capita per single shot, right? And clearly Kell Brook had more spots than David Lemieux. David Lemieux really didn't do anything. Plus, he got knocked down. Kell Brook never got knocked down. He got injured, and his corner threw in the towel, but he never touched the canvas. So, the bottom line is, Kell Brook is a worthy win if he beats him, right? And if Kell Brook beats Errol Spence, all the praise he's getting from people like Mayweather and Freddie Roach, then he's the man. That's why this fight is a defining fight. I love fights like this because it really helps to shape the division. It exposes who's who of the welterweight division, and there's a lot of great names like Errol Spence is saying. But I really like Errol Spence's temperament, and I think at least the way he's talking, when I seen the Showtime, the reveal with Mark Kriegel, when I'm reading this interview, he has a level of maturity and a level of composure, and I could tell he has experience. When I interviewed his trainer, Derek James, shout out to my dude Derek, he told me about Broner and Lamont Peterson sparring. He also said he sparred against Jorge Linares, who is another champion. Now, I don't know the weight. You know what I mean? Obviously, Linares is a little bit smaller and whatnot, but it's still a champion. And when Linares is on, he's a phenomenal boxer, right? He boxes beautiful, like his combinations, uppercuts, and stuff like that. So that's work. It's all work. So from Floyd Mayweather to Broner to Lamont Peterson to Jorge Linares, these are all guys who are or were champions. You look at Lamont Peterson, he just beat David Avanesian for a version of the WBA, I think. Right? I was at that fight. That was out on the Broner Granados card. You look at Jorge Linares, he just had a fight with Anthony Corolla where he knocked him down with a nasty uppercut and dominated in the rematch, right? WBC champion. You look at Broner. Broner might fight Mikey Garcia, and we know he moved up weight classes and stuff like that. Floyd, I don't even have to tell you what Floyd's done in terms of accomplishments. So I like this talk from Errol Spence Jr. Very chill, very composed. He seems relaxed. I was watching he has an Instagram. I was watching his Instagram story. He's laughing, having fun. He doesn't look like worried or bothered or frantic. These are all good signs. And to me, that's the championship mindset that you have to have in boxing, right? Just confidence in your ability, confidence that your experience is going to play a major role in the fact of when you get to that point, when you have a championship fight, you're ready for the moment. Because some people are counting Errol Spence out, like who has he beat, who has he fought. So he's confident enough in his teachings where he feels he can get it done. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're going to find out on Saturday what's what and if he can get it done. But I like this, and experience is a huge factor, and you can immediately tell the guys who have the experience versus the guys who don't and maybe had to start boxing late or learn on the job. You know what I mean? Because it's not all, it takes a while, or it takes some time for them to do that. Like even Canelo Álvarez. Canelo is one of my favorite fighters to watch, but he didn't have an amateur pedigree, right? He had to learn on the job. Turned pro in Mexico. He was like 15 years old, fighting in low-level competition, building himself up, and you know what I mean, maybe fighting grown men and stuff. And that showed because it's been a process. Canelo is a beast right now, but you look just a few years back, he was getting hurt by Jose Miguel Cotto, who is the lesser of the two Cotto brothers, and he had a tough fight with Alfonso Gomez, even though he stopped him. I thought Gomez was getting off with shots and tagging him too, you know what I mean? But he's improved, and it was been like a slow, methodical process, and just that constant dedication with guys like Canelo or Sergio Martinez. Started boxing late. From Argentina, he was doing other athletic things like bicycling and soccer and stuff, but started boxing late. He had to get knocked out by Antonio Margarito and then kind of reinvent himself. He just stuck with it and started having great fights with Kermit Cintron, Paul Williams, then rematch. Paul Williams knocked him out, then beat Kelly Pavlik. You know what I mean? It's a process. It took years for him to get that swag and that confidence. But guys like Errol Spence, they already kind of have it because of their prior experiences. Like you're not just born with it, but he knew, like, you know what I'm saying? That's big. If Floyd Mayweather is considered the best boxer of this generation, unless you're Max Kellerman and you want to give that honor to Pacquiao, even though he lost clearly and made excuses after. But most reasonable people who are not biased will say Floyd is the best, you know what I mean, of this generation. My favorite fighter of all time, Roy Jones Jr., he had it for a minute. He was the pound for pound dude, but then he started like losing and getting knocked out by lesser competition. So as soon as his athleticism slowed down a touch, then he was no longer Mr. Untouchable. Floyd, he's fought through different generations, you know what I mean? Some of his competition, he's been fighting so long, some of his competition, Arturo Gatti, Diego Corrales, Gennaro Hernandez, are no longer even with us, you know what I mean? And his style has evolved, and it's stood the test of time. Guys like Ricky Hatton, who are now big and blown up and a promoter and stuff like that. Oscar De La Hoya, now a promoter, doesn't even fight. He beat those guys, right? Guys like who are still active like Canelo, he beat him. Robert Guerrero, they just announced he's fighting Omar Figueroa. He beat him. You know what I'm saying? So his style has proven to be a tough, you know what I mean, a tough safe to crack for 2 decades, you know what I mean? So the fact that Errol Spence can spar with him early in his career and like he says, go tit for tat and hold his own, that's a hell of a confidence boost. And then on top of that, they're saying he gave Floyd a black eye, a guy who's known for a defense and known for not really taking the whole shot and getting hit with, you know what I mean, stupid, silly shots. So I'm sure Errol Spence's confidence is absolutely real. You know what I mean? And it just comes from experience. They said Broner was crying. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I heard is the fight had to be stopped. He admitted that on the Showtime special, The Reveal. But I heard Broner was crying. You know what I mean? Got stopped, got embarrassed or whatever. Guys like Lamont Peterson, that's top shelf work. Jorge Lanata's top shelf work. So we're going to find out on Saturday. But link in the description. Let me know what you guys think. I just like the calmness and the confidence of Errol Spence Jr. He doesn't look like the moment's getting too big for him. And even though he doesn't have the biggest names, Kell Brook is clearly the biggest name he's fought as a pro, he still brings a lot of training and a lot of experience into the equation. And that's evident with people he's sparred. Now, of course, sparring, and a real fight's a real fight. But like I said, we're going to find out on Saturday. Let me know what you guys think of the Mayweather preparation Spence feels that has helped him for this championship moment, this title shot. Let me know if it's going to be chocolate brownie or man down. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.